So tell us what your experience was like during the home buying process.
So our experience was great, but long. We actually signed our contract back in October of last year, so we're 10 months in the making. But we had an amazing realtor. Babette helped us along the way. She was very knowledgeable about the process. She answered all of our questions. Even those times when we ran into some hiccups, she helped to calm my nerves because I just didn't know, what was going to happen. And the process is long. It can be stressful just because you're waiting, especially on a new build. You're waiting, and you're at the mercy of the builders. But overall, I would say we had an amazing transaction with Babette. She's very knowledgeable about the process. She knows her stuff. She was able to answer all of our questions. And I mean, I think the home buying process can be long. It can be a little bit stressful, but I would say it's totally worth it because today, to finally get keys, feels amazing. So yes, if you are looking for a home in the Arizona area, Babette is definitely your person. You want to say anything?
Well, you said it all. I would definitely say that it was a very different experience. This was not our first time buying a home, but it was our first time buying a new home. And so it was very different in fact that it was long and you had to be patient. And so the transaction had so many different moving pieces and moving parts. And from the design center to, going through the pandemic and working with Babette. When all those things happened, she was really good at pivoting and providing the information, reaching out to all of the different stakeholders within this process to make sure that everything was still on task. Um, Luckily, we didn't have to, get a long drawback, from the pandemic. It's a lot of people that are waiting, 12, 24 months for the new build. We had 10 months, um, but I think some of that is due to the to Babette and how she was able to stay on top of all of the different things that was going on with the transaction and making sure that everybody's was communicating correctly and all things were lined up. So we were really grateful for her. It was one thing that we really didn't know in the beginning of the process. When you go into the new builds, um, if you do not have a realtor, representing you, they will just assume whatever realtor they have in place. So you need to have your realtor there, at that time before you go into a new build. That is really, really important to have that person, there that will fight for you, because builders, they're going to care about their interests. The realtor, your realtor, should be caring about your interests.
Absolutely.
And Babette was always showing that she cared about our interests. Even she showed up to the walkthrough. There were things that she pointed out. We had chipped tile on the floor that I didn't see, that Melly didn't see, but she actually spoke up on that, and they were able to correct those other errors in the house that she saw that she spoke up to. And usually they said, they don't want your realtor to show up, but she was there. She showed up and she was there, even though they said they didn't want him. She was still there, and she also was teaching. She had her mentee with her, and she was teaching at the same time. She's very dedicated and committed to her craft. She's always learning. She's always sharing new information. And when I tell you her passion is real, she wakes up talking about it. She is walking when she talks about it, and she's going to sleep talking about it. So if you want someone to represent you who really cares about you and also is very knowledgeable about the craft of real estate, Babette is a person. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad to have gone through this process with her, and it's so much more to this process that we couldn't possibly get all of it out. But we do want to say thank you to Babette for this. And today, we get to move into our new home.
Yay.